Picture two people, both 58 years old, born 3 weeks apart. One ran a 5-kilometer race before breakfast. The other got winded carrying 2 bags of groceries up one flight of stairs. Same birth certificate, 2 completely different bodies. So, which one is actually 58? That isn't a trick question. For the first time, there's a real way to answer it, not a guess based on how tired you feel, but a number read from inside your own cells. It's called your biological age. By the end of this video, you'll know what it measures, what it honestly can't tell you yet, and the daily habits that actually move it. If you've ever felt older or younger than friends your own age, you are not imagining it. Chronological age simply counts birthdays. It says nothing about how well your body is functioning underneath. Biological age is different. It's an estimate of how your cells and organs are aging, built from measurable biology instead of the calendar. And the way scientists get that number is more elegant than you'd expect. Every cell in your body carries the same DNA, but not every gene is switched on at once. Your body controls which genes get read using tiny chemical tags attached to the DNA strand, a process called methylation. Picture them as sticky notes your cells place on pages of a very long instruction manual, marking which pages to read now and which to leave closed. As you age, the pattern of where those sticky notes land shifts in a remarkably consistent way. Consistent enough that scientists can read that pattern in a blood or saliva sample and estimate your age, often within a few years of accuracy, just from where the tags are sitting. The first tool built this way was the Horvath clock, developed in 2013 by UCLA biostatistician Dr. Steve Horvath and published in Genome Biology. It reads methylation at 353 specific spots on your DNA and estimates age accurately across almost any tissue in the body, a genuine breakthrough. But it had one limitation. It was built to guess your birthday, not to tell you much about your health. That's where the next generation gets more interesting. GrimAge, released by Dr. Horvath's UCLA research group in 2019 and published in Aging, was trained on a different target, not your age, but how much healthy time you likely have left using methylation patterns tied to organ stress. Across multiple trials, it's held up as one of the strongest biological predictors of long-term mortality we have, tracking better than chronological age alone. Then came DunedinPACE, developed in 2022 by Dr. Daniel Belsky at Columbia University, alongside researchers at Duke University and the Dunedin study cohort at the University of Otago in New Zealand. Instead of a single fixed number, think of it as a speedometer instead of an odometer. It doesn't tell you how many miles are already on the engine. It tells you how fast you're aging right now, this year. And unlike an odometer, a speedometer can change. There is also PhenoAge, developed in 2018 by Dr. Morgan Levine at Yale University and published in Aging. Instead of raw DNA methylation, it's built from standard blood biomarkers, blood sugar, inflammation markers, and kidney function, which means a version can sometimes be approximated from labs your doctor has already drawn. No special kit required. Now, here is the question that matters. Can you slow that speedometer down? And has anyone actually proven it in real people? In 2021, researcher Dr. Kara Fitzgerald, working with McGill University epigeneticist Dr. Moshe Seif, published a randomized controlled trial in the peer-reviewed journal Aging. They followed 43 healthy men between 50 and 72 over 8 weeks. Half followed a program of dietary changes, sleep guidance, exercise, and stress reduction. The other half changed nothing. At the end of 8 weeks, the group that changed their habits measured just over 3 years younger on the Horvath clock than the unchanged group. A real measured shift, not a guess. A separate 1-year study following European adults in their 70s on a similar Mediterranean-style pattern showed a trend in the same direction, a year and a half younger on paper, though that study, on its own, did not reach statistical significance. That distinction matters, and I want to be upfront about it, rather than only showing you the number that sounds impressive. Now, the honest part, because that's what this channel is built on. If you're picturing a $200 kit from a wellness website handing you one precise, trustworthy number, slow down for a second. Consumer tests vary a surprising amount depending on which lab, which clock, and even which chemical batch was used that month. A result that jumps 5 years between two tests taken 3 months apart is far more likely to be lab noise than real biology. The clocks with genuine peer-reviewed evidence behind them are specifically Horvath, GrimAge, PhenoAge, and DunedinPACE. Not every product that markets itself as a biological age test. If you want an honest number, that's the label to look for, and that's the kind of nuance worth having someone walk you through twice a week instead of untangling alone, which is exactly what subscribing gets you. So, practically, what do you do with a number like this, whether you ever test it or not? Start with your plate. A Mediterranean-style pattern, dark leafy vegetables, legumes, extra virgin olive oil, wild fish, shows up repeatedly in trials because those foods supply natural methyl donors that feed your cellular machinery. Prioritize sleep consistency over sleep perfection. Irregular sleep timing has been linked to faster epigenetic aging, even when total hours look fine on paper. Keep moving deliberately. Resistance training and regular aerobic activity are two of the few interventions shown to influence DunedinPACE specifically, not just a static score. And manage chronic stress on purpose. Sustained high cortisol is one of the most consistent accelerants showing up across several clocks at once. Between formal tests, 2 free proxies track surprisingly well with these clocks: how fast you naturally walk and how hard you can grip with one hand. Both used in longevity research as simple stand-ins for how well your body is holding up. Here is what to carry with you. Your birthday tells you how long you've been alive. Your biological age, measured properly through peer-reviewed clocks like Horvath, GrimAge, PhenoAge, or DunedinPACE, tells you how well you've been living. It isn't fate, and it isn't something one supplement fixes on its own. But the research does point to a couple of nutrient foundations worth having in place. Adequate dietary vitamin D, which showed up in trials measuring methylation change, and a B complex featuring methylfolate, which supports the same methyl donor cycle. These cellular clocks are downstream of a foundational input, not a direct edit to your methylation pattern, and one where standard doses make more sense than megadosing. I've placed a link to the exact clean formulations I personally look for in the description below if that's helpful for your own research. One more honest note before we go. This video is for education, not diagnosis, and a biological age test is never a substitute for regular checkups with your own doctor, especially if you're managing an existing condition. And if today made you curious about the muscle side of this, because strength and lean mass are two of the biggest levers on that speedometer we just talked about, I covered exactly that in the video linked right here. I'll see you there.